Good morning. Welcome back to another PulseWave report with yours truly, Dex the Algo Capitalist, aka the Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed yourself, and I hope that you are ready for some more market drama. All right, so basically, the opening bell has already rung. We got the stock index futures up this morning on more optimism that we're this much closer to a COVID vaccine. They're claiming we got one that has greater than 90% efficacy rate, and everyone is excited about what that could mean going forward. Gold was up, and now it's pulling back. It just is having a lot of trouble getting above 1900. Every time it gets close, it pulls back. So I don't know if it's going to finally break through. Same thing with silver. Silver's having a rough time this morning, staying above $25. It's pulled back significantly. I don't know. And then you look at oil. It took off this morning. It's up $1.30. This is looking eerily familiar. I normally relax on the weekends. I don't look at news on purpose. Purposely. I don't watch news. I don't do any of that. I take time to decompress and to relax. Rest my mind because I'm dealing with algos all week and charts and stuff. So you got to have time to decompress, right? So then when Sunday rolls around, I begin to look at news that's coming up and what's going on, if anything big happened, as I prepare to get Sunday night's pulse waves out. And sometimes I stumble across one or two newsworthy pieces, but that's pretty much it. Most of the time there's really nothing going on newsworthy wise, just the same old. But this weekend was different. This weekend was full of news, of all types of news, all types of market news, a lot of market news, more than I could digest in one day. There's been so much going on. It is mind-boggling what has been happening. Now, as you know, I've been spending most of my time in the lab these last couple of weeks preparing for some stuff. I warned you guys about the big algo shift coming. I warned you about, increased volatility. I've been warning you about a lot of stuff. And it seems that we're getting closer and closer to something big about to take off. I don't know what the catalyst is going to be, but something big is looming on the horizon. One of the ways we know that is because they've already started instituting Lockdown 2.0. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, in case you weren't paying attention, we're already in lockdown. All right? It's been like a tidal wave coming to shore. All right? It wasn't all at once like the first time. It's trickling state by state, jurisdiction by jurisdiction. Well, here in Virginia, in the DC metropolitan, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, we are locked down yet again. Governor passed some new lockdown measures that they're rolling out incrementally. And yes, indeed, they are going there. I did warn you that the lockdowns were coming. It wasn't just talk. It wasn't just fear. They were preparing you because they're about to do it. Well, I also stumbled across some other very interesting research when I was doing my research. And I found that everything that we are experiencing right now, I have to agree, I was on the right track, but I was wrong. I knew for a fact I could track things back to what I saw when I peeked behind the curtain. I knew that the COVID thing, I knew that they were preparing for it in the summer of 2019 because I saw it with my own eyes. Then all of a sudden, when the rest is history. But I have learned, I have come into some knowledge, I have come into some information that suggests that everything that we have experienced in 2020 took decades of preparation, years of preparation. I have learned that when Yuri was warning the American people back in 1983 and 84 when he was traveling the country giving a series of lectures, he was warning the American people about what was coming and what had already been done for the communist invasion. There were even movies done like Red Dawn showing a communist invasion. We all misread the movie. We thought that when they made Red Dawn that they were talking about a physical invasion, that Russia was going to invade the United States. They even made a Chinese one when China invaded the United States, or North Korea, all right? I have seen a rendition of that Red Dawn. The first one was with Russia. The second one, redo that I saw was with North Korea. Then there was also one with China. And at the time, I never really thought to think, why did they show those three countries? Why not Australia invading the U.S.? Why not Canada invading the U.S. or Mexico invading the U.S. or aliens invading the U.S.? Why was it those three countries? Why Russia? Why China? Why North Korea? And at the time when we saw these movies, entertaining as they were, we were thinking to ourselves, okay, this was a good movie, but wow, what if the United States really did get invaded? What would happen? What would that look like? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am here to tell you that the movies were not to be taken literal. They didn't mean literally. They meant ideology, concepts. What does North Korea, Russia at the time, the USSR, and China have in common? You guessed it, communism. The movies were depicting that the U.S. would be taken over and successfully invaded by communism, a communist takeover of the United States. Now, I remember revealing on this program that live on this show, I told you that back in 1994, somewhere around there, on Janet Parshall's America, which is no longer on the air. It used to come on WAVA, W-A-V-A, in the D.C. metropolitan area. And she had some guests on, and they were talking about how, and they had recordings, they had transcripts, everything. And at the time, I think it was Hamas. And they had declared that the U.S. would be a Muslim country, that the Islam would take over the U.S. government with Islam, with Sharia law, by the year 2020. Now, at the time I heard that, I was like, that will never happen. That's ridiculous. Because you got to remember now, this is 1994. This is pre-9/11. All right. This is only a few years fresh out of the Desert Storm, all right, from 1990. So you're only 4 years removed from that, all right, from that occupation of the Middle East. And then this comes up. So I thought at the time I was like, wow, okay. But I didn't really think nothing of it. Now, for those of you that weren't born yet, or maybe you were born but you were infants, What you didn't know is that the year 1994 was quite the year. There was a lot going on in 1994. One of the biggest things that was going on in 1994 was fear. There was amazing fear that the U.S. was going bankrupt or would become bankrupt by the end of 1994. That prediction was scary for a lot of people because during 1994, the U.S. was in a full-blown economic recession. Full-blown. Full-blown. Full bore. And it was a rough recession. It was rough. It was rough. If you were lucky enough to have a job, you needed to keep that job. You needed to hold on to that job for dear life. You didn't have a choice. You had to hold on for dear life because jobs were scarce. Like today, for instance, scarcity, job scarcity. It was no joke, people. It was real. Times was real. And it's reminiscent of what's happening today. So we have been warned. We were warned in 1983 and 1984 that the U.S. would become 1984 if something was not done immediately starting in 1984. Nothing was done. Youre was right. And now here we are, decades later, and America is on life support, fighting for her life not to become full-blown communist. You have actual people unashamedly, without blushing, admitting to being communist. And no one's saying anything. America has been anti-communist for decades, fighting the good fight. But I'm afraid it is apparent, becoming very apparent, that she has lost the war. Whether you believe that there is conspiracy involved or not in the U.S. election, at the end of the day, the people want a communist in office. Therefore, they voted the communist in office. Bernie Sanders had the ear of America's young people, spouting communism. And you know what? The young people ate it up. They were voting for Bernie. They wanted Bernie. Get him in office. We like his communistic ideas. That's what they wanted. They said, the government knows best. The government can take care of us. The government has the brightest minds working for her. She has the top economists, the top medical minds, the top scientific minds. The government has the top everything. It is omnipotent. We should bow down to it and let it tell us what to do and let it guide us, because we can't think for ourselves. Because you were trained and conditioned since kindergarten to not think. You were trained to do as you were told. And when you grow up and you go to university, they complete your conditioning with reinforcing do as you're told. Regurgitate what you were told. There was a time when you went to university that you would have been scorned and scolded if you just regurgitated information. They wanted you to debate the news, debate the topic, debate your professor. They wanted you to disagree with your professor, not just for the sake of disagreeing, but they wanted you to form opinions of your own. They wanted you to exercise your mental muscles. They wanted you to develop your own intellect. and not just believe something and just go with something because the trusted professor told you to. Yeah, there was a time that universities actually taught people how to think. They taught young people how to have an independent mind, how to be an individual. But something drastically happened. Over the last few decades, something terrible has happened. The universities have now been overrun with communists, teaching communist ideologies. And they've been preparing an army to overthrow the US government. And that is exactly what you have seen. You see, you expected that a full-blown coup or overthrow of the US government would be violent and bloody and bullets and MRAD tanks and nukes, dirty bombs. No, no, no. That is so medieval. We have technology now. You don't need to shoot anyone. You don't need to blow anything up. The thing now that is more mightier than the sword is the pen. The pen and the throat. All right? All you need is a microphone and or a pen. And the pen is proven to be mightier than the sword. Young people have been turned on to the mystical leanings, the mystical economic leanings of a Karl Marx. And they have eaten it up, not understanding that Karl Marx is a gateway drug. Karl Marx is a gateway drug to full-on communism, to full-on total tyranny, to fascism. And the people fell right into the trap. So the war has been raging while you were sleeping. You were able to sleep right through the biggest war. You thought World War III would be about nuclear, thermonuclear devices. No. World War III was about the minds of the people, how to win the minds of the people. That is what this was about. Okay? This is your reality, and you have to deal with it. You thought that, hey, I'm ready. I have I joined the militia. I know when anything's coming, we got the latest and the greatest in surveillance technology. We got infrared cameras. I've been training in the woods, so I know what to look for. I'm also an accomplished tracker. I've learned how to track bear scat. I can do all this. I can camp out I can survive in the woods. You went through all that training for nothing. I've been stacking. I've been stacking my gold and silver. I've been prepping. I have 9,000 years of pork and beans in my cupboard. I have 900 years of water. I have over 900 tons of salt and sugar. I have at least 40 tons of coffee. And I have, to my latest count, 1,200 individual toilet paper rolls. I'm ready. Let's do this. Let's go to war. I'm armed and I'm trained and I'm a part of the NRA. I got this. We ready. I even got a bug out bag that's ready to go. I got an underground bunker that can withstand 30 thermonuclear devices at once. I can be like a hermit crab and stay up in my shell for as long as it takes. We ready to do this. Bring on the nuclear winter. And meanwhile, little did you know, the World War III was raging all around you, unbeknownst to you. It was as if you were both blind and deaf and dumb. You were muted to the war raging around you. The war was not for your land. The war was for your mind. And they got it. Not only did they plan this decades ago, long before most of us were even born, but they have successfully won. They have successfully won. The game is over. What you're looking at now is the last throes of death as the country is slowly dying and gasping at last breaths. The priest is standing over the country, giving America last rites. It is too late. The cancer is too far gone. It is metastasized into every area of our economy. The cancer has metastasized into every area of our educational system. The cancer has metastasized into every political party, every individual state, city, town, municipality. The cancer has spread far and wide. The cancer is now so pronounced inside of the body of the patient named America that you see the cancer raging nonstop. You see it when you turn on the mainstream media. The cancer is styling on you, profiling on you, even laughing at you, grabbing its stomach in laughter, saying, "I can't breathe. This is so hilarious." Screaming on you with laughter. And you had no idea that you had already been overrun. The infestation has been completed. Your house is full of roaches. Your house has been taken over by every type of mouse and rat. You looked in the cupboard and scorpions fell out. You went to the refrigerator and vipers were taking bites at you. Every corner that you looked and turned in your house was overrun and infested with mice, roaches, ants, scorpions, and venomous spiders and snakes. There's nothing you can do. How did this happen? How did it occur in the blink of an eye? What you didn't know is that this has been a process that started one roach at a time, one mouse at a time, one rat at a time, one scorpion at a time, one spider at a time, one venomous snake at a time. Until now, your dwelling is fully overrun. And there's nothing you can do about it. For those that are just tuning in, you're listening to the Prophet of Doom, the algo capitalist, aka the Vulcan, giving it to you in the most difficult way possible. I want to say what up and shout outs to everybody in the live chat. What up? My brother has joined me. What up, man? Thanks for coming again. Are you guys aware of how bad the situation is as of Monday, November the 16th of 2020? Did you know that 80% of New York hotels are on the verge of default? 80%, not 8%, 80%. Yep. I don't know what else to tell you. I've been warning you about this. I've been telling you about the truth behind the markets and the economy. If you were looking at the Dow today, the Dow futures that is, you would be blown away. You would be like, oh, the market, the economy must be doing great, because today we hit 29,999 on the Dow futures today. Yeah. Now, last week we hit 30,000 even on the Dow futures. Today, we get 1 point shy of it, and the market can't take anymore. Really having a hard time with Dow 30,000 closing above that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you the gravy train is just about run its course. We're looking at a possible situation in these markets of an epic sell-off. An epic sell-off. I repeat once more, an epic sell-off. Are you prepared for that? Have you prepared for that? Are you a member of PulseWave Because if you are not, then no, you are not prepared for what's coming. The algo shifts are real, ladies and gentlemen. It's not something I pull out of the air or out of my pocket. These things exist, and they exist for a reason. You don't have to like it or even accept it, but you do have to deal with it. How are you going to navigate the situation? The algo shifts are real, people. The market has been flip-flopping from positive to negative, negative to positive, not knowing what it wants to do. The NASDAQ was negative this morning. Now it's positive. It's struggling with its identity. The tech sector is saying, you know, we've gone up on hopemism, but there's no more hopemism news available. What can we do now? The market has already rallied into the news of the vaccine. So it doesn't matter if they announce tomorrow, okay, we're ready to start giving out the vaccines. There's no more higher the market can go at this point. It's already rallied into the news. What happens when markets rally into the news? They sell off into the fact. I'm just telling you to get yourself ready because the markets are about to do some phenomenal things right in front of you. If you're not ready, you're going to miss it. This is not your great granddaddy's markets. These markets aren't playing around. They're not playing games with you. They mean to hurt as many people as possible. There's no way that you can keep up with and understand the algorithms that they are using to take down your beloved market. I'm here to help you with that. I'm trying to warn you. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to put you up on game. It's coming. They're not playing around anymore, and they don't even care. They're not even trying to hide it. They're not trying to hide it. I repeat, they are not trying to hide it. If they have their way, they're going to take down the entire market. They're not going to end and stop with the stock index futures. They're going to attack your currencies. They're going to attack your precious metals. They're going to attack your bonds. They're going to attack your Bitcoin and your altcoins. You're an idiot if you don't think that the government has been involved in your crypto market from Jump Street. They got involved back in 2016, full force. That's right. They started operating in your beloved crypto markets in 2016. And I warned you then that they were operating in your market. And you thought it strange that Bitcoin fell from 20,000 to 3,000. What's going on? I told you what was going on. They were physically trying to take down your market because they've been busy building their own. People don't like to listen until it's too late. When the articles hit the wires, then you believe. But when I give you information that's not yet on the wires, you don't believe me. Now, what are you saying? I know what you're thinking. I know what you want to know. What you really want to know is, okay, so what's going on with the Bitcoin? I gave you my long-term Bitcoin analysis. Check the video. I told you what was going to happen. Now, if you want to know up-to-date, minute for minute, day by day, then I suggest you go to PulseWaveTrading.com and register. Then you will know on an intraday basis when and what is about to happen. You want to know when is it going to turn? You need to go there. You need to register. Then you'll know. Because the PulseWavers know what is going on. They know what's good. They know. Because they get the report every night. They get the report every night. They know what's up. You're going to need to know what's up. and your government does not care about you. This redistribution of wealth is not what you think it is. Redistribution of wealth is not taking for those that have and giving it to those that have not. That is the classroom definition of redistribution of wealth. Their version of redistribution of wealth is taking everything that you have and giving it to themselves. That is their definition of redistribution of wealth. It is not taking from the rich and giving to the poor. They hate the poor. They want to get rid of as many poor people as possible. They want to take what you have, what little you have, and give it unto themselves. That's the redistribution of wealth they talking about. But they got y'all, oh yes, redistribution of wealth. That's right. Let's down with the 1%. Down with capitalism. Down with capitalism. You idiot. Why do you think they want you to be happy about doing away with capitalism? You think doing away with capitalism is going to bring them down? No, you idiot. Capitalism was created for you so that you and your family could prosper. It is the only way you and your family can prosper is through capitalism. The reason why they want you to vote against it, which you did when you voted against Donald Trump, you voted against capitalism. A vote away from Trump was a vote away from capitalism. When you don't have capitalism, when you no longer have capitalism, you no longer have hope. Redistribution of wealth is taking away from you what little you have and giving it to those that have all. The have and the have-nots is real. The haves want everything. They want it all. They want even what you have not, they want. Capitalism allowed you to get into their sandbox and play in their arena. Capitalism allowed you to go on the Robinhood app and buy and sell stocks for free. Capitalism allowed you to open up a micro forex account at Oanda and trade micro forex. Capitalism allowed you to go on to the non-centralized exchanges that is the blockchain technology and buy your cryptos. That's all capitalism, folks. Say bye-bye to that. Because you voted against yourself when you voted for the communists. They want to take all the means of production away from you and give it to themselves. They want to control you. They don't want you having an opportunity to build wealth. They want to control wealth. Under communism, no one prospers except for those in power. You own nothing. Nothing. They even will own your bank account. That's what communism is. They own you and everything that you have. You have at their pleasure. You guys need to open your eyes. Capitalism was the only thing that gave you and afforded you the lifestyle that you have right now. The lifestyle that you've enjoyed all these years. The home you live in. That's all capitalism. Where do you think it came from? You think it fell out of the sky? For those of you that got the good six-figure income jobs, you thought that fell out of the sky? For those of you that were able to go to university and get advanced learning degrees and they gave you the career of your dreams, you think that fell out of the sky? That's capitalism that gave that to you. Under communism, you will not be afforded a chance for higher learning. You're not going to be afforded anything. That's not what they want for you. They want you dead. I don't think you understand the gravity of what I just said. They want you dead. And many of you, for the first time in your life, are about to wake up to that reality. You have lost. You have lost your liberties. You have lost your constitutional rights. They have taken it away. They've been trampling on it all year long to show you that you've lost it. Why do you think they're doing this in your face? They're putting it in your face just so you know that they've taken over and they've won and you've lost. That's why they do this. It's not a game. They got you out there marching. You thought Black Lives Matter was a movement for Black people, for the advancement of colored people. No, that was the NAACP back in the day. All right? For the advancement of colored people. No, there's no advancement of colored people. Black Lives Matter is not about the advancement of colored people. They would have been marching and protesting, not about police brutality. They would have been marching and protesting about this economy and how it's destroying, quote unquote, the advancement of colored people. Do you dig? Huh? Do you understand? See, you guys, you've been tricked. You were tricked because you didn't like Donald Trump. It was never about you liking him. It wasn't even about him being a good person. It was about what he represented and what he stood for. He stood for the way of life that America ideals were built on, which was capitalism, which was the opportunity for each and every person to advance and pick themselves up by their own bootstraps. You talk about income inequality? Income inequality, really? That doesn't exist under capitalism because you know why? People are mobile under capitalism. If you start off poor, you don't have to remain poor. Under capitalism, the majority of people who start off poor don't end poor. Did you know that? Under capitalism, the people who may be at the top 1% don't get to stay at the top 1%. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Look at all the big Fortune 500 companies that have gone bye-bye, filed bankruptcy, and faded into the night. At one point, they were the top in their sphere, the top 1% in their sphere. Now they're nowhere to be found. They've gone the way of the dodo bird. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been duped. You have been tricked. You've been tricked into saying, I no longer want or need or desire capitalism. They have tricked you into thinking that the ills that do exist in the world came as a result of capitalism, which is a lie. They misled you. They misled you. You don't even understand what government is anymore. All you hear is the word democracy thrown in your face. Democracy is the worst form of government. Mob rule, is that what you want? You want mob rule? Really? People. You need to wake up. You need to wake up. By their own mouths, the leaders of the Black Lives Matter movement said that they were trained Marxists. She said out of her own lips, she said we. She didn't say I. She didn't say they or them. She said we are trained Marxists. We are very well trained. Who trained them? Where did this training come from? Is she referring to the public educational school system where she received her training? Is she referring to her years at university where she finished off her training? Or are they referring to something else? Were they flown overseas? Were they flown to Russia and trained? Were they flown to North Korea and trained? Were they flown to China and trained? Who trained them? They never say who trained them or where they received said training. They just said, we are trained Marxists. Marxism is a gateway drug to communism. Who trained you? Who raised these people? Where did they come from? Did you even know the Black Lives Matter people before Black Lives Matter? Did you even hear their names? Did you know them personally? Did you see them on the street? Did you attend school with them? Did you live next door to them? Do you even know who they are? You just see a black face and say, oh, that's my sister. She is not your sister. She told you she came here to kill you. Oh, come on, man. You had to say it like that. They never said they was here to kill people. No, I quote, we are here to do away with the patriarchy. What does it mean when you want to do away with something? It means you want to destroy it. You want to kill it. Get rid of it. Toss it aside. That's what it means. See, when you define words and words have meaning, you have to break down what does it mean. We want to do away with the patriarchy. That means men. They want to rule. They want to rule under the feminist LGBTQ agenda, using their social order, their new world order. These are the pillars of the one world government and the new world order, the one world religion. Ladies and gentlemen, wake up. Their religion is no religion at all. They're atheists. And some are even Satanists. They're witches and warlocks. Self-admitted. They traffic with demons, ancestor worship, and communicating with quote unquote the dead, which is code word for communicating with demonic entities. How many times do I have to tell you these things? You need to wake up and address the dragon in the room. All right? Game over. The match has been decided. You lose. You lose. All right? You lose. You see, you thought that your defense was elite. You thought that you had a Hall of Fame defensive badge in this United States of 2K21. But what happened was you got crossed up. You got your ankles broke, and when you hit the ground, you passed out unconscious. And when you woke up, you thought you had did something great, some great defense on the court, and your people had to tell you, nah, you got crossed up, you got your ankles broke, and you've been passed out now for quite some time. The game has been over. We lost the game. You've been unconscious all this time. You've been out of it. You missed it. Yeah. America, you got your ankles broken. You've been hobbled on the court. Game over. Your elite defense that you thought you had, the Hall of Fame badge that you thought you had, you don't have a Hall of Fame badge. You don't even have a bronze badge. You have no badge. As a matter of fact, your defensive rating is 40. You can't do nothing in the court as far as defense. You have no defense. And you lost. You lost the war. See, you were in the gym training, thought you was a gym rat. But what you didn't realize is that you were training for the wrong sport. You're supposed to be playing basketball, but you were training for field hockey. That's why you got your ankles broke on the court. That's why you passed out. That's why both of your ankles are taped up. You were playing the wrong sport. You were looking for the dude to come down the court with the hockey puck. There is no hockey puck. You tricked your own mind. You've been deceived. You thought you were woke. You're not woke. You're just as asleep as ever. You're in REM sleep. You've been in REM sleep. So what comes next? Well, the thing that's going to come next is this. There's going to be a brief period in a very, very not so distant future where the economy and the market is going to appear to be reunited. As the economy gets worse, the market will get worse. Then out of nowhere, your market is going to explode higher. And the worse the economy gets, the higher the market is going to continue to climb. Like I've told you since I've been on here a decade, I told you that a decade ago that you would know one of the biggest signs will be that as the Dow goes higher, the economy gets worse. Now we hit down 30,000 and we got 80% of the hotels in New York City about to go bankrupt. Yep. Just something to think about. The only way that you're going to be able to make it through this now is you're not going to have a choice, but you're going to have to learn how to trade because jobs are gone. They're not coming back. You got to learn how to trade, man. Straight up. 100%. 100%. All right? You've been warned. You have been warned. Now, if you want to save yourself, you're going to have an income stream. I don't know where you're going to get that income stream from except the markets. Real estate has failed you. Winter is coming. Real estate has failed you. You see what's going on. 80% of hotels in New York City are going bust. Real estate game is not going to pay you. Not when there's going to be the greatest avalanche of foreclosures and evictions in real estate history. It's not going to help. Only thing I know is the markets. That's the best way to do it because you don't have a middleman coming in between you. You ain't got to worry about somebody paying their rent. All you got to do is place the trades and be on the right side of the market. That's it. That's all you need. It's all that is required. So I don't know what people are going to do. I really don't. With that being said, here's what you need to look out for as we speak right now. U.S. stock indexes are struggling at the all-time highs. They're going to need to break through these all-time highs. If they do not, you're going to have a small window of disaster. Yep, you're going to have that window, that little window of disaster. So you're going to have to deal with that. Okay? If we do manage to break out beyond the new all-time highs that have been set, that should cause the market to rally throughout the end of the year into January, including Bitcoin. And as Bitcoin takes out the old high of 20,000, I see a possible end of year high of 22,000. That is a possible year-end high for your Bitcoin. Now, of course, there's a lot of contingencies in place, that things that need to happen. One of those is the stock market's going to need to rally to the end of the year. And unfortunately, that's going to make gold and silver muted going into the end of the year. So I see lower to slightly sideways to lower prices coming in the near future for gold and silver. If you take a look at today's price action, you already see the signs of that. Okay? Can't make this stuff up. You just can't. So I'm trying to prepare you for what is coming. And you do need to be prepared for it, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. Even as I speak right now on the daily chart, your gold futures are in a bear market. Now, they've been in this position for some days now. That's why it's hard for gold to get up. Silver is in the Kumo cloud. We're speaking of the algo charts here strictly. So that's why silver hasn't been able to do anything either. Okay. That's important to know. Now, as far as your stock index futures go, they're locked in on their bull market on the daily charts, on the algo charts. They're in a bull market, still in the position of a bull market. That's where they're able to continue to hit these new highs. Okay. So that is the position of your market as we speak right now. And there's no negative bot checks in them, with the one exception of the NASDAQ 100. All right, it's been having negative bot checks. That's why it hasn't been able to take out its last high. All right, the NASDAQ high is older than the Dow, S&P, and Russell's highs, and it's been struggling. It tried to break out today and do a little something, but it's really been struggling. It's really been struggling. All right, so just trying to put y'all up on game, just trying to explain a few things to you so you can see what's going on, so y'all can see what time it is, so you can know which way is up. Okay, that's very important as we move forward. You're going to need to know these things. All right, you're going to need to know which way is up. And with that being said, you know what it is. Bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. You said, in the last room says, is a Cassandra. Dex is a Cassandra. You best listen, listen to the warning. All right, so look, man, look. All I can do is give it to y'all real, man. That's all I can do, man. That's all I can do. I can't do nothing else but let y'all know what time it is. And hopefully, you know, you'll listen, you'll take things to heart. But if you don't, I can't. I don't control that. I really don't. I really don't. I don't control that. I don't control that. I just put it out there. Hopefully, you know, you guys will get it. And if you don't, you don't. All right, so I'll see you guys in the trading room. You know what it is, man. Smash that like button, and I'm out. Peace.